I had barely put my patrol SUV in park when a scream tore through the quiet street. A sound so raw, so terrified, that it didn't even register as human at first. After a 14-hour shift as police chief, all I wanted was to hug my daughter Lily and my wife. But that scream, it froze every drop of blood in my body. "Daddy! Daddy! Help!" I didn't even close the car door. I sprinted toward the porch, and what I saw almost dropped me to my knees. My daughter, my 8-year-old Lily, born with a heart so fragile every beat was a victory, was chained to our porch railing. A thick steel chain, heavy industrial, was cinched around her tiny waist, pulled tight, locked with a padlock. She was on her knees on the wooden boards, her face the color of a sunset, deep red and slick with sweat. Her lips were fading from pink to blue. Her chest heaved as she gasped for air. Her portable heart monitor was screaming a warning tone that every parent of a heart-patient child learns to fear: distress, danger, collapse. "Lily," I dropped beside her, my hands shaking. "Baby, who did this? What happened?" She tried to lift her head. "Daddy can't breathe. Hurts." Her fingers curled against her shirt, right over the scar from her last open heart surgery. Her breaths were shallow, panicked. Then her monitor shrieked louder. Her heart was beginning to give out. I yanked the chain with all the strength I had. Solid steel, bolted through the railing, I pulled until my hands burned. Nothing. I grabbed my radio. "This is Chief Mitchell. Get an ambulance to my address now, and I need bolt cutters. Move." Lily started crying, each sob cutting into her oxygen. "Daddy, the lady. She said I was bad. She put the chains on me." "What lady, baby? Who?" I leaned close so she wouldn't have to strain to speak. "The HOA lady, Mrs. Kensington." My heart stopped. Brenda Kensington, president of our HOA, a woman who treated authority like oxygen, a woman who had made life miserable for half the neighborhood. And she had chained my medically fragile little girl outside in 95-degree heat. "Stay with me, Lily," I whispered, brushing the sweat off her forehead. "Daddy's here. Keep your eyes on me." Her eyelids fluttered, her breathing hitched, and then she went limp. "No, no, 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 Lily." I laid her flat and began CPR, counting compressions through the blur of tears. My hands trembled so badly I could barely keep rhythm. "Come on, sweetheart, come back to me, please." My wife, Sarah, burst through the front door, her screams splitting the air when she saw the chain. "Lily, God, Arthur, what happened?" "Call 911 again. Tell them she's crashing." Sarah dropped to Lily's side, sobbing while I continued compressions. 30 beats, 2 breaths, 30 beats. My arms burned, my vision blurred. The only thing keeping me upright was the desperate hope that my daughter would breathe again. My patrol units arrived first. Rodriguez and Quinn jumped out, bolt cutters already in hand. "Chief, move." Rodriguez clipped the chain in one fast crunch of metal. I kept doing CPR, even as the chain slid free. The ambulance pulled up seconds later. Paramedics rushed over, taking over compressions. But the words I heard next shattered something inside me. "No pulse, preparing epinephrine." They loaded Lily into the ambulance, still pumping her chest, still fighting for a heartbeat. Sarah climbed in beside her. I stood there in the driveway, hands covered in sweat, tears, and my daughter's fear, staring at the broken chain on the ground. And then I saw her across the street, Brenda Kensington, standing on her lawn with her arms folded, watching. Observing the chaos she caused with a nasty calm on her face, our eyes locked. She smiled, a slow, smug, monstrous smile. Then she turned and walked into her house like she had done nothing more serious than misplace a package. Something inside me snapped, not anger, not rage, something colder, sharper, a promise. "My name is Arthur Mitchell, Police Chief of Cedar Ridge County. And that woman had just made the biggest mistake of her life. The morning had started peacefully. Lily had woken up excited because her cardiologist had finally allowed her 30 minutes of sunlight a day. 30 minutes where she could sit outside and feel normal, like other children. She was born with a severe congenital heart defect. 3 surgeries before she was 6, a pacemaker, daily medication, and a heart so delicate that even minor stress could send her into distress. But she was strong, my brave girl, the kind who smiled through every needle and hospital stay. "Can I read on the porch today?" she had asked at breakfast, her heart monitor clipped to her shirt. "As long as Mommy is watching," I told her, kissing her forehead. Sarah worked from home so she could watch Lily full-time. But that morning she got an urgent business call and stepped to her office for just 10 minutes. 10 minutes while Lily sat on the porch reading. That was when Brenda struck. Later, our next-door neighbor, Mrs. Garcia, told officers exactly what she saw from her window. Brenda stormed across the street at 10 a.m., shouting at Lily for sitting outside, unsupervised. Lily tried to explain. Sarah was inside. Oh, she had her heart monitor. She wasn't doing anything wrong. Brenda didn't care. She said Lily was a liability, Mrs. Garcia told us, her voice trembling. Then she pulled a chain from her bag, like she planned it. She wrapped it around Lily's waist before my daughter even understood what was happening. Lily cried, telling her she couldn't stay outside too long. Brenda told her to stop pretending to be sick. Then she padlocked the chain to our railing and walked away. Mrs. Garcia tried to free Lily, but she was elderly and frail. She couldn't even lift the padlock. She called 911, but the heat overwhelmed Lily too fast. By the time Sarah heard the screams, Lily was collapsing, and I arrived just in time to watch my daughter's life slipping away. At the hospital, Lily was rushed into the ICU on life support for 3 hours. Doctors fought to stabilize her. When Dr. Evans, her cardiologist since birth, walked out, his face told the truth before his words did. Chief Mitchell, Sarah, Lily experienced severe heat-induced cardiac failure. "We've done everything we can." "But she's alive," Sarah whispered. "She is, for now. But the damage to her heart is extensive. She may need a transplant soon, very soon." Sarah collapsed against me, shaking. She was just reading a book, just reading. Dr. Evans's voice grew quiet. "Whoever restrained her outside, knowing her condition, put her life in deliberate danger." My jaw clenched. "It was the HOA president," I said. She chained my daughter to the porch and walked away. Dr. Evans's expression hardened. "That is attempted murder, and I swore I will make sure the law agrees." After Dr. Evans walked away, I stood in that hallway, staring at the ICU doors, listening to every machine that kept my daughter alive. Every beep felt like a threat. Every silence felt like death creeping in. I wasn't just a father anymore. I was a police chief with a target, and her name was Brenda Kensington. I stepped outside and immediately called my second-in-command, Captain Harris. "Harris, drop everything. Arrest warrant for Brenda Kensington charges, aggravated child endangerment, attempted murder, unlawful restraint, full list incoming." There was a pause. "Chief, what exactly happened?" Kay told him every detail, every scream, every chain link. Harris didn't even let me finish. "She's done," he said. "I'll bring her in myself. And Chief, we'll do this by the book, 0 mistakes." That's exactly what I wanted, an airtight case. Next, I called District Attorney Alina Carter, a mother of 2 and a prosecutor known for tearing monsters apart in court. "Alina, I want max charges," I said. "No deals, no leniency." Her voice tightened. "I'm so sorry about Lily. I promise you, this woman will never see daylight again." Then, for the first time in my 25 years of law enforcement, I recused myself from the case. I didn't want a single motion, a single ruling, a single piece of evidence jeopardized by claims of bias. I wanted Brenda's conviction carved in stone. She was arrested at 8:04 p.m. Harris led a full tactical team, not because Brenda needed it, but because every neighbor needed to see it. Police lights washed across the entire street as she stepped out of her house in a robe, annoyed rather than afraid. "This is absurd," she snapped. "I was enforcing HOA rules." Harris replied coldly, "The child you chained outside has a severe heart condition and almost died." Brenda scoffed. "That little machine she wears. I thought that was for attention." "You saw her heart monitor?" Harris said. "Multiple witnesses confirm it." Brenda folded her arms. "I want my lawyer." "You'll get one," Harris said. "But understand this. Your victim is the police chief's daughter. You're not getting away from this." Her face paled. She should have thought of that before she shackled an 8-year-old child in deadly heat. Her lawyer, a high-priced defender named Collins, went straight to the media. "This was a misunderstanding," he said smugly. "My client acted responsibly." The public exploded against him. Within 24 hours, 3 more families came forward with stories of Brenda's cruelty. "She tried to fine us for my autistic son humming too loud. She demanded we remove my mother's wheelchair ramp because it ruined curb appeal. She threatened to sue us because our elderly father needed an oxygen tank outside." Brenda had built her power on bullying the helpless. Lily was just her first victim who almost died. For 5 days, Lily fought in the ICU. 5 days of machines breathing for her. 5 days of Sarah and I taking turns reading stories at her bedside, begging her to wake up on the 3rd night. Her eyes fluttered open. "Daddy," she whispered. I grabbed her hand. "I'm here, sweetheart. Daddy's right here." Her eyes filled with tears. "Did I break a rule? The lady said I was bad." That shattered me in a way I can't describe. "No, Angel," I said softly. "You did nothing wrong. She did." "My heart hurts," she whispered. "So much." "I know," I said, trying to stay strong. "But the doctors are helping you." But I knew the truth. When she drifted back to sleep, Dr. Evans pulled us aside. "Her heart suffered severe trauma," he said. "She's now at end-stage failure. We'll need to list her for a transplant immediately." "How long do we have?" Sarah whispered. "Months, maybe less." My daughter's life had been shortened by a woman who valued HOA power more than human life. And that truth became the backbone of the prosecution. The trial began 8 weeks later. Lily was home by then, but weak. She needed oxygen at night. She couldn't walk without resting. She couldn't laugh without her heart monitor beeping warnings. She couldn't testify, but she didn't need to. The evidence spoke for her. The courtroom overflowed. Journalists, activists, families who Brenda had terrorized for years. Brenda sat at the defense table looking irritated, as if all this was an inconvenience. Doc Carter began. An 8-year-old heart patient was chained to a porch in 95-degree heat and left to die. The defendant knew she was sick. She saw her heart monitor, and she still walked away. She held up a photo of Lily, before and after, before smiling, holding a book. After pale, intubated tubes everywhere. Gasps filled the courtroom. Then came the footage from Mrs. Garcia's door camera. The moment Brenda approached Lily, Lily explaining her condition, her monitor beeping. Brenda mocking her, calling the heart condition fake. Brenda pulling out the chain, brought from home. Brenda chaining a crying child to the railing. Brenda walking away without looking back. The jury watched in horror. Then came the text message found on Brenda's phone, finally going to teach the Mitchell family a lesson. Their sick kid needs to learn she's not special. The courtroom erupted. Even the judge took a moment to collect herself. Defense attorney Collins tried every trick. She didn't know she was enforcing rules. She didn't intend, but evidence crushed every excuse. Then Sarah testified. She was just reading, she whispered through tears. Just reading her book like she always does. And this woman decided that deserved punishment. Last, I gave my victim impact statement. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I spoke calmly because truth doesn't need volume. You saw my daughter's heart monitor. You heard her explain her condition, and you chained her anyway. My child now faces a transplant. She may not survive because you wanted to feel powerful. Brenda lowered her head, not in shame, but in fear. She finally understood what she had done. The jury deliberated for only 2 hours. When they returned, not one juror looked at Brenda. On all counts, the foreperson said, "We find the defendant guilty. Attempted murder, aggravated child endangerment, unlawful restraint of a minor, civil rights violations, premeditation, everything." The judge sentenced her to life in prison without parole. For once, Brenda couldn't speak. As officers led her away, she looked back at me. I didn't look away. Justice had been served. Lily is still fighting. We're waiting for a donor heart. Every day is a gift, every heartbeat a blessing. Some days she's strong, some days she can barely sit up, but she's alive. And she knows she did nothing wrong. As for Brenda Kensington, she'll spend the rest of her life behind bars, remembering the day she picked the wrong child to hurt. The day she tried to break a little girl and instead unleashed her father, the police chief. All right, real talk. If you were in my shoes, what would you have said to HOA Brenda? Or better yet, how would you deal with her? Drop your revenge ideas down in the comments. I gotta see how y'all would handle this mess.